Before Al Roker became a household name, before his voice carried reassurance through hurricanes and snowstorms, before millions trusted him to guide their mornings, there was a moment few people ever saw. A quiet moment, a nervous moment, a moment captured on tape that would quietly change the course of his life. Long before the bright lights of national television, Al Roker was just a young man with ambition, curiosity, and a belief that preparation mattered. He didn't walk into broadcasting with instant confidence or guaranteed success. Like so many who came of age in the 1970s, his path was shaped by persistence, patience, and a willingness to start small. The audition tapes that launched his career were never meant to be legendary. They weren't dramatic, they weren't polished by decades of experience. They were honest, earnest, and filled with a quiet determination that would later define him. In those early recordings, Al stood in front of simple weather maps, delivering forecasts to an imaginary audience. His voice was steadier than he felt. His smile came and went. There were pauses, small stumbles, moments of self-correction. But what stood out, what decision-makers noticed, was something harder to teach. He felt real. At a time when television often favored formality, Al brought warmth. When others leaned into performance, he leaned into connection. Even then, before fame or recognition, there was a sense that he wasn't just talking at viewers, he was talking with them. For viewers now in their 60s, this part of the story feels familiar. It echoes a time when careers were built slowly, when proving yourself meant showing up repeatedly, often without applause. When opportunity didn't arrive overnight, but through preparation meeting the right moment. Al's audition tapes didn't promise perfection, they promised potential. Those tapes opened the door to local television, long hours, modest pay, and relentless learning. It was the kind of beginning many remember from their own working lives. You said yes to opportunity, even when it scared you. You learned by doing, and you hoped someone would notice. Someone did. As Al moved forward, each step built on the last. His early years were marked by discipline and humility. He studied the craft. He listened more than he spoke. He treated every assignment as if it mattered, because to him it did. The young man on those tapes had no way of knowing what lay ahead. He couldn't foresee decades of early mornings, historic broadcasts, and the deep trust he would earn from viewers across generations. He only knew that this moment, this audition, was his chance to be seen. And that chance changed everything. What makes this story especially meaningful is how little Al Roker has ever relied on spectacle. Even as his career soared, he never distanced himself from those early beginnings. The humility seen in those audition tapes never left him. It simply matured. For those watching today, especially those reflecting on their own careers, Al's story offers reassurance. It reminds us that the moments we think are small, the interviews, the first tries, the uncertain starts, often carry the greatest weight. Legacy rarely begins with certainty, it begins with courage. The courage to show up unproven, to be recorded when you're not ready, to let others see potential before you fully see it yourself. Al Roker's secret audition tapes weren't about impressing the world, they were about opening a door. And once that door opened, he walked through it with consistency, kindness, and an unwavering work ethic. Decades later, when viewers tune in and see the familiar face they trust, few realize how much of that presence was shaped in those early, unseen moments. Moments of vulnerability, of hope, of quiet resolve. For a generation that understands the value of earned success, Al's beginning resonates deeply. It speaks to a time when careers were crafted patiently, when reputation was built one day at a time, and when showing up mattered more than standing out. Those old tapes may never air, they may never trend or resurface, but their impact lives on every morning Al Roker steps in front of the camera. Because that young man, standing nervously before a weather map, didn't just audition for a job, he auditioned for a lifetime of trust. And in doing so, he began a career that would weather every storm, starting with the very first one he faced alone, on tape, hoping someone would believe in what he could become.